Hi guys, welcome back to the Totally Magic channel, and it's been a while, but I thought I'd do a trick that you can perform to family and friends at this time of the year during the holiday season. Now this is a trick that uses a regular deck of cards, and you give them to a family member and ask them to shuffle them, examine them, whatever they like. And it is an absolute genuine shuffle. Now we're not going to use all of the cards, so just cut about a third of the cards from the pack. Happy with that? Yeah? You see, I'm going to deal out in a random order. You've shuffled the cards. We're going to shuffle them again. I'm going to deal out 3 equal packets, but back and forth in a random way to mix them up. Now, as I'm doing this, I want you just to concentrate on any one of these playing cards, okay? It's an absolute free choice that I want you to do. Now, well, we've got 2 odd cards. Let's get rid of those because we want equal amounts in each packet. Have you thought of one of those cards? You have. Keep it in your mind, the whole image of that playing card. We have A, B and C. Which is yours? A. Now, the next part, I want you to again concentrate on your playing card, but only a part of it. Think of it in your mind as a jigsaw. Take it apart, and I'm going to once again shuffle the cards up back and forth in a random way. But I want you to look for your card, but just concentrate on the colour and the suit. Was it a club, heart, spade or diamond? And as you're doing this, look for it in either of these packets. You see, we've got left, right and middle. Where's yours? Middle. Okay, so at this point, we've shuffled the cards, you shuffled the cards, you handed me a random number of cards. We don't know exactly how many you handed me, but we know they were equal packets. You concentrated on one card. I now want you to put together in your mind all of those parts of that jigsaw so you see your playing card. I'm going to spell out the value. Now, just tell me the value. Was it a 10? Was it an ace, a 5? What was it? A queen. Q-U-E-E-N. Queen. Now, believe it or not, as a magician, I can read your mind and I know exactly what you're about to say next. You're going to tell me the word of. O-F, the Queen of. For the first time, tell me and everyone here, what was the card you were thinking of? The Queen of Diamonds. And there is the Queen of Diamonds. And that is magic. So here's the tutorial to this very quick, dynamic and simple, and more importantly, self-working card trick. Now, before I explain how the routine is performed, I know I get a lot of comments from people who I often call the TikTokers that get bored after 1 or 2 minutes, who complain that I waffle on for ages explaining how a trick works. And that's because I like to give you a bit of background information and some ideas along the way. But if you're one of those people that's not really interested in magic, we've got a lot of people that watch these videos because they just want to know the secret. So for you guys that don't want to hang around, here's the secret in 1 minute. You deal out 3 packets of cards, get them to think of a card. Whichever packet contains their card goes in the middle. And if you do that 3 times, their card will always be in the middle of the cards. That's it. That is the secret. For those of you that want to hang around and get a bit more information, here we go. So it is that simple. It is a self-working card trick. But the beauty of this in the performance, and I know some of you probably think that I set this up, but trust me, the card that they thought of in the performance, it was the Queen of Diamonds, was a pure fluke that I could get away with only dealing the cards twice, because this trick should really be done by you dealing the cards out 3 times. Then you're guaranteed their card is always in the middle of the pack. That's it. So how did I get away with doing it just twice in the performance? Well, trust me, this happens a lot because the odds are stacked in your favour. Let me show you. First of all, the cards are regular, so you can get them to shuffle them. Now this trick, when you deal out 3 packets of cards, as long as they're odd amounts in each packet, so you could have 3 cards, 3 and 3, you could have 5, 5 and 5, or you could have 7, 7, 7, as long as they're an odd amount. Now, doing it with 3 cards in each packet, I kind of felt that that didn't give us enough cards to play with. So I think 5 is just right. So having 5 cards in each packet, there's a bit more for them to choose from, and it looks a little bit more impossible for you to find their chosen card. I think doing 7 cards, that means you'll be dealing out almost half the pack. And because this trick requires a constant dealing, that is one of the most boring things that a trick can have in it, where you got to deal the cards. The spectator just loses interest. So if you keep it quick, snappy, direct, then this is a great trick. So how did I get to have 5 cards in each? Now I know some magicians just say when they finish shuffling, can you deal out 15 cards? Now I don't like doing that, even though we want 15 cards. I don't like doing that because it seems too contrived, that it's some sort of mathematical principle, which it is by the way, but a mathematical principle that you've got to have exactly that number of cards. I want to give the impression that when I'm dealing those cards out, I don't care how many there are. What I've found is if they give you about 1/3 of the cards, you will have somewhere near 15. Now you may have a few less, you may have a few more than 15, but it doesn't matter. You saw what happened in the performance. When I dealt, I had apparently 2 odd cards left over, and I got rid of those because I said I wanted equal amounts. And that's important. When they cut the cards and you take the cards from them, get rid of these. You're now going to deal the cards out. But before you do this, you say to them, I'm going to deal out 3 equal packets. Note the word equal. So you're already implanting in their mind that you want an equal amount of cards in each. As you start to deal, these cards can go in any direction. Yeah, doesn't matter. Now, as you lay these down, here's what I do. As I'm talking to them and I say to them, I want you to think of any one of these cards. Do you notice how I'm deliberately overlapping the cards? And that's because I sometimes lose track of how many cards I'm dealing while I'm talking to them. So every time I glance down at a packet, I can see I've got 3 in each. I then deal another one and I'm asking them to think of a card. Now let's say that they're picking the King of Clubs just here. Okay, so let's pretend that they're picking King of Clubs. I know I've got 4. I then go to deal another one and I can feel straight away that I've run out of cards. These 2 have got 5 on, this one hasn't, and that's when I say, oh, we need an equal number. Let's just pinch another card from here. Can you see how easy it is to add additional cards or get rid of them on there? Now don't forget, they might have given you a big clump of cards. When you've dealt your 4th and your 5th card, I then, as I go to push off, I've got a big chunk of cards here, but if I keep them square and say, oh, we've got 2 odd cards, we'll get rid of that. and I put them back immediately. No one's taking much notice on there. The bottom line is 5, 5 and 5 on here. Now, as I mentioned at the start, every time they tell you which packet their cards are in, that packet goes between the other two. That's it. And you repeat this another 2 times. So in all, you deal out these cards 3 times. Let's have a look. So they're going to choose the King of Clubs on this example. I try and avoid repetition because I've got to deal out the cards again and again, and I don't want to keep saying the same thing. Oh, point to your packet, point to your packet, point to your packet 3 times over. So I try and mix it up a bit. So what I do is I say to them, A, B, C, which is yours? Now, it's pretty obvious that you're asking the question, which one, and they're going to say A, B or C or whatever. So they're going to say A. Their card is one of these. Now, I don't want to make it obvious that I'm putting this in here like that. Remember, it's got to go between the other two. So what I do is I casually pick this up. Now, on video, this isn't going to work, but when you're in front of the person, look at them as you drop it. Because if you look at them, they're likely to look at you. And they're not really paying attention. It looks as though you're just casually gathering up the cards. And I say, what I want you to do next, because I'm going to deal these out again, and I'm going to ask you to break your card apart in your mind. I've now put it in between the other two. You turn it over, and you're going to deal it again. When you deal the cards out the second time, you have to deal them left to right, or in order. However, the first 3 and the last 3 you can deal in any direction. So I say to them, I'm going to mix them up again, deal them in any order. It doesn't matter where you deal these. But from this point on, you want to go left to right. Now, what I'm going to look at here is when I deal the third card, okay, if they say their card is in the middle packet at the end, their card is the Queen of Hearts. Guaranteed, it will be that middle card. So if I deal these out, remember this is only the second time that I've dealt the packets, like I did in the performance. If they said their card was in here, you can end the trick now because it will always be that card in the middle. Okay, in this case, it's not. It's actually over here. All right, so what we do is we carry on for the third time. Once again, I don't tell them to pick the packet. You can then say we have left, right and middle. Now, again, I'm not using ABC. I'm just trying to mix it up a bit here, make it a bit more interesting. They're going to say right. So again, this goes in the middle, there and there. And on the third run, I say to them, think of the value. Was it a high-low card? Was it a picture spot card? Once again, the first 3 cards can go in any order. But from this point on, you deal them from left to right. Now, this is the thing. Let me deal these out. Okay. I want to keep in view the third cards of each packet. I deal these out like this. Then the last one I can do in any order. But I want to see what the third card is of each packet. The middle card, yeah? So the middle card of each packet. The final time, you just say to them, touch which packet contains your card. Now, they're going to touch this. Now, as soon as they touch this, I can see that it's a king. If they touch this one, it's going to be the 7 of hearts. If they touch this, it's the Jack of diamonds. So at this point, you've got no idea what their card is until they point to which packet. It will always, trust me, always be the middle card of that packet. So as soon as I've seen that it's a king, I can work out how I can spell down to this. Now the revelation you can do your own way. At this point, because I know that it's a king of clubs, I can gather the cards up and pretend to read their mind and tell them that it's a king of clubs. You can do that. You can write it on a piece of paper and reveal it that way. But I like to do this. I gather the cards up again, putting these into the middle. What I know now is that card has the 5 cards from one packet on there, followed by 2. This card here is their card. So in other words, it's the 8th position. Now when I spelt out the Queen, that was perfect. I didn't need to do anything. But if you think about it, the King is 1 less letter. This is how I do it. I gather the cards up and I say, look, most magicians would normally deal cards face up like this, but I like to keep them face down. Can you all see what I just did there? I transferred 1 card from the top to the bottom, because when I spell this out, the king, that's only 4 letters. So all I do is casually deal that and say most magicians would deal cards face up. As I gather this, I put it to the bottom. I'm now done. I get them to reveal the value. I spell it out, K-I-N-G. I then pretend to read their mind in a comical way to say the next word is of, O-F is what you was about to say, isn't it? King of, and this will be the king of clubs. They just reveal that. Now, whatever card it is, it makes no difference, because if it was the 2, say if the 2 of clubs was their card, so let's just put that in the 8th position. So you've now realised what the card is. You gather the card, you say, look, most magicians would do this. They would deal cards face up. I prefer to keep them face down in the shuffled order that you shuffled them, I shuffled them. You're thinking of 1 card. What's the value? 2. T-W-O. I can read your mind. O-F is the next word you was about to say. For the first time, what was your card? 2 of clubs. There it is there. So if you're good at thinking on your feet, you will know how many cards to leave. But if it's something like a 7, then that's got 5 letters in. The Queen has 5 letters in. So you don't do anything. You just spell it out. If it's an ace, a 2, then of course you're going to have to transfer 2 cards to the bottom. And if it's something like a king, a 4, any value that's got 4 letters, then you just do 1 card on there. But as I said, because you know the position of that card is in the 8th position, you could, if you want, not even bother doing spelling. Say you're going to use your magical mind reading skills to deal the cards down. I'm getting a feeling for this. No, that's not your card, not this one. And when you get to your 8th card, you turn it over and it's their card. It's self-working. Deal out 3 packets in the middle 3 times on there. But as I said, if you get lucky on the second deal that you deal out the 3 packets, if they say their card is in the middle packet, you know their card is the middle card of that, and you can end the trick there. It's a great, simple self-worker for this holiday season. I hope you enjoy that. Have fun with that.